Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. In this quick guitar tricks we're looking at 3 signature Nuno Bettencourt licks as requested. They'll all be in E, links to my Nuno style backing track with a card in the top right. Much like my Steve Vai signature licks card on the top right, I'll start with the most straightforward lick and get more complex as we go. I'm going to dive into the theory, so if you're not interested in that and just want the licks with tabs, I put timestamps in the description and that pinned comment. A newish system I'm trying out, so let me know if that's any good. Yeah, so we're using open E as our root, a real kind of Hendrix sort of funk vibe. That 12th fret in the tab could easily be any note below the 14th fret, so you don't necessarily need to slide from there. But again, it's our root, but 2 octaves higher. You just want to slide into it really, and then we've got flat 3rd, flat 7, bending the major 6 up a semitone to the flat 7, back down, 5th on the 12th fret there, and then ending the lick on the ever so funky but somewhat tense major 6. This is a great way to get a Dorian, Mixolydian sort of sound. Very Nuno, particularly the 6th bending to the flat 7. Bonus tip, while you could think of Nuno's playing as a mix of major and minor pentatonics, he often uses more complex hybrid scales for extra spice, the most common being the Mixolydian, a term I learned from the brief time I had Steve Smythe, who you might know from his work in Nevermore and Testament as a guitar tutor. As you probably guessed, the scale combines the Dorian and the Mixolydian modes into one. So you can think of it as Dorian with an extra major 3rd or Mixolydian with an extra flat 3rd. And on the subject of hybrid scales, let's dive right into that. Okay, quite a lot to unpack here. If you take anything away from this lesson, this shape where the major minor sound is all over Nuno's playing. So even if this lick is not up your street, that little shape is an amazing tool to have in the bag. So we're basically outlining an E7 with that first group of notes. Then when it goes up to the 17th fret, E's 4th, we're suggesting an E7 sus4. The last group of notes is a slight variation. Nuno will do this fairly frequently, which can give a more sporadic and organic and arguably more musical feel to solos. The other noteworthy thing here is the rhythm. It's triplets, but it's also kind of a funky gallop rhythm, which really makes the lines stand out. So after a very quick introduction to the Mixolydian, this is us going, combining, because that's the minor 3rd, that's the major, so we've kind of introduced that. After this, Nuno goes on a bit of a rampage, flat 3rd to root and flat 7. All pretty normal, and then he chucks in the 5th to the minor 6 to the 5th, and then the blues note, this bit. The blues note can come from our blues scale, and we could think of the minor 6 as coming from Aeolian or Phrygian. Bonus tip, guys like Hendrix, Eddie Van Halen, Tom Morello, Dimebag Darrell, and Nuno Bettencourt himself have the luxury of being the sole guitarist in their band. Having less defined chords in the rhythm section really opens up what notes you can play, although generally speaking there still has to be some sort of cohesion or tonal centre, or it'll just sound like a bunch of random notes. Unless you're Alan Holdsworth, who's insanely good playing squeezing in all sorts of notes. But yeah, to me, this minor 6th just adds in some really nice crunch. And to wrap up, Nuno gives our ears a nice little pentatonic run. ending on the flat 7th, which is being bent up a tone to the root. Here you could end bending on the major 6 up to the flat 7. Like in the first lick, that should still sound pretty good. As a quick side note on this pentatonic run, this shift here can be a bit tricky or slightly less intuitive at higher speeds, so just watch out for that. You might want to go, but we're going. There's also a double note here, and again your muscle memory might want to take over here and just kind of do, you know, that kind of thing, a hammer straight through it. Mine certainly did anyway, but I reckon doubling notes like that, it really sounds pretty cool. It's something I'm going to be working into my playing a bit more often. To explain what's going on here, I'm going to start off by simplifying it. We'll go through each of these bars and then apply the theory to that lick. String skips here. You might recognise these a bit from my Paul Gilbert string skipping lesson card in the top right. So bar number 1, we've got an E major. It might be a bit tricky to get your head around, but our root is here. And you could move the shape anywhere to get a major arpeggio. So if we moved up to the 15th fret, which is a G, it would give us a G major. But back to E for now. So the intervals here are 5th, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, root. I'm not really sure how Nuno picks this, but logically it seems to me like there are two main ways you could go at it. If you tend to downward pick slant, you might want to start on down, then do the hammer on and up. So down, sorry, let's run it a bit better. Down, up, hammer. Then you want to make sure the pick is rotated enough from this kind of escape hit you've done that you won't hit the B string by mistake. And then we're going to go down, then up, pull off. And again, if you're kind of rotated in that downward pick slanting way, provided you're doing the escape strokes, might be easier to see this way, so like this. You shouldn't hit the B string by mistake, and that should be alright. For upward pick slanting, going up, down, hammer, and then on the high E, up, down, pull off. So again, you can see, provided you're doing the escape strokes this way this time, you should be able to avoid the B string, and it still feels somewhat logical to pick like that. I mean, just go with whatever works best for yourself, but I thought these might help out, so it seemed worth mentioning. Bonus tip, you can play this arpeggio starting on a different note. So here are some examples. Bar 1. And bar 2. Back to our arpeggios for the analysis here. Bar 2 gives us a Lydian style arpeggio. You can still see the 3rd, 5th, root, and 3rd up the octave are there. But the extra notes, this sharp 4 on the 15th fret, and 9th or 2nd on the 14th fret, give that dreamy Lydian quality. Next up, a dominant 7 sus4 type of sound, which is what our original lick here, the tapping one, was outlining. This 19th fret on the G string is the flat 7th, and adding in that on top of the major arpeggio will give you a dominant 7 sound. I've also added in these notes the 17th fret on the high E and the 14th fret on the G string. As you may have guessed, these notes are the 4th or 11th if it's up the octave, and when you add those in, it will give that major arpeggio a suspended, floaty feeling. The combination of this and the flat 7 with the 4th gives an almost kind of psychedelic hippie vibe. Green tinted 60s Mind might be another example, lesson card for the Paul Gilbert tapping lick in the top right there. I was thinking about doing a pro tips thing on Nuno Bettencourt, so a more in-depth look at him and his use of hybrid scales in greater detail, both in his riffing and his soloing, then delve further into his string skipping patterns, looking at a few different ones and kind of chords he tends to outline. So please let me know if you guys would be interested in that or not. So yeah, let's go back to the full lick and analyse it using what we've just looked at. We have the 5th, 3rd root, tapping the flat 7, 5, 3rd. Almost identical, but this time we're tapping the 4th instead on the 17th fret on the E. Same on the G. Then repeat that. And then what we do is we're going 5th to the 3rd, to the root. Then 4th, 3rd, root. And on the G string, we're going flat 7, 5, 4, 3, 5. To the root on the high E, up to the 3rd, back to the root, 5th, 3rd, 5th, and then I think we can kind of do that once more to round it up. Yeah, root, 3rd, root, 5th, 3rd. Those were 3 signature Nuno Bettencourt licks. Let me know in the comments if you want more signature licks, different modes, different players, or different styles. I'll probably do another poll to try and narrow down the main players that you guys are interested in. This has been Quick Tricks, that's the playlist there. For more hybrid scales, click on this George Lynch Pro Tips tutorial. Hit subscribe, share, like, and enable notifications with a little bell on the side, if you feel so inclined. Cheers guys.